Are you having discipline problems in your school? Really? Discipline problems? Let's talk about it. Hey, if you're watching this video, you're probably a campus administrator or a teacher in the classroom, and you probably noted a little sarcasm in my opening. And there was a reason behind that. But before I jump into that, let me just tell you why I think you should listen to me today. So I have over 26 years of experience in education, experience at the elementary, the middle school, the high school, principal, assistant principal, classroom teacher, instructional coach. And I was on the first campus in the entire state of Texas to apply an alternative approach to discipline and behavior in the entire state of Texas. To me, I've trained over 30,000 educators. I'm an author, a podcaster, but at the end, I'm a real educator with real experiences who have experienced real struggles. And today, what I want to share with you is just a little bit of spin on this idea of discipline problems. Because one, I will validate, we all have experienced discipline problems. There's no way that schools escape that. The reason I use a little sarcasm is I want to unload a quote for you, that we actually have a connection problem that's disguised as a discipline problem. Hey, stop the video before we go any further. When you hear that quote, what does that resonate with you? What does that tell you? What are your first instincts? And I'd love for you to share those in the comments below. Now, if your thought on that and you're kind of stuck in there, let me just expound on that. What I'm simply meaning is that when we look at our discipline problems and we trail them back up the stream, a lot of times what I notice as a trend working with over 30,000 educators and transforming over 200 school districts is that I start to see a commonality, that it's not absolute in every single case, but you'll start to see that a lot of discipline issues, if you root them back and connect the dots, you'll start to see that there was a lack of connection to even begin with. I mean, one thing that we all experienced post-pandemic was the further disconnected of being in a physical space with other human beings. But one of the things I saw as a result of that in schools were we had these cracks in connections, and all of a sudden their cracks turned into canyons. And before I knew it, I saw students disconnected from each other, students disconnected from the adults, and the adults disconnected from the students. And as a result of that, we saw the way that we were treating each other at times was just horrible. I mean, students didn't know each other, nor respect each other, nor cared about each other. And so what we started to notice is that if we were able to come in and proactively create a connection on the front side, we saw a decrease in these discipline issues. And it's amazing to start thinking differently about discipline because yes, we all experience discipline problems, but how many of those can actually be rooted back to a lack of connection to begin with? And I think about this in myself. I mean, how many times have you worked with a student who's been totally challenging, but all of a sudden there's been this moment where it clicks. All of a sudden things start to make sense and you start to see what's underneath the surface in each and every one of the students in their voices and choices. And to me, this is where I started to make transformation in classrooms and campuses starting to happen on a regular basis, is because we recognize that yes, we have a discipline issue, but what's missing in the formula of success is allowing the students to feel connected, to feel safe, to feel like they belong in each and every one of those classrooms and on their campuses. And to me, this made a huge transformation just in our simple mindset of how we approach discipline. So I want to remind you about that quote, that we have a connection problem that's disguised as a discipline problem. And to me, all I want to do is really unmask that problem and start so that you can start to see things differently. To me, that's all my approach in education is about, is helping educators see things differently. So in conclusion, what if we could actually get underneath the problem and get to the root issue? What if we could diagnose that the lack of connections are impeding the opportunity for our students to actually make better choices and voices in the classroom? To me, this is the perfect opportunity for us to collaborate in partnership and to bring ideas to the surface. To me, when we start dealing with the root issue, we don't no longer put a Band-Aid on it. We're not just dealing with the discipline issue, we're finding out what is really rooted in the problem. And to me, you'll be surprised that a lack of connection sometimes can feed into some of the most inappropriate behaviors. Now, if you're looking for more opportunities to learn more about this mindset or other tools that would help you decrease your discipline and behavior issues in the classroom, increase student engagement, increase teacher retention, and overall create a safer environment where all students feel valued, seen, and heard, I'm going to encourage you to visit our website at dediscipline.com.